What's the darkest thing you've ever seen on Craigslist? Let me guess. Some guy offering to trade magic beans for your firstborn. Well, if that's the case, you clearly haven't seen anything yet, because today we are going to talk about the most evil thing ever posted on Craigslist, something so horrifying it will make your blood run cold. All the way back in 2009, a 23-year-old Boston medical student named Philip Markoff lived what seemed like a perfect life. He was engaged to a sweet girl, had a bright future in medicine, and all of his friends and colleagues loved him. No one would have guessed that he was hiding a deadly double life. In truth, Markoff was a serial killer who preyed on women he met through the classified ads website Craigslist. His first victim was a 24-year-old woman named Yulisa Brisman on July 15, 2009. Brisman placed a casual encounter ad on Craigslist seeking a male companion. A few hours later, she received an email from someone named Phil who said he was interested. The two arranged to meet at a hotel near Brisman's home, but when she arrived, she didn't see Phil. Instead, she found a man sitting in the room who introduced himself as Phil's friend, confused, but still game. Brisman agreed to go to another hotel room with the man. This is where things took a terrifying turn. As they entered the room, the man pulled out a gun and told Brisman that he wanted her money. And as if this situation couldn't get any worse, another man entered the room and joined his accomplice. Together, the two tied Brisman up and stole $800 from her. Then they let her go. The police were called, but despite a massive manhunt, they were unable to find the men. Just a few days later, another Craigslist ad was posted by a woman named Megan Waterman. She met a man named Greg on the site who asked her to come over to his hotel room for a casual encounter. But when she arrived, she found a man who looked nothing like Greg. When she refused to go to a second location with him, he threatened her with a gun and forced her into his car. From there, he drove her to an ATM and withdrew $300 from her account before releasing her. Again, the police were called, but they came up empty-handed. It wasn't until the following month that they linked the two attacks together and realized they were dealing with a serial killer. Soon after, they caught their third victim, a 25-year-old woman named Anna Warren, managed to escape from her abductors after they forced her to withdraw money from an ATM. She was able to identify one of the men as the same person who attacked Brisman and Waterman. The police now had a lead. They discovered that both men were part of a sophisticated network of criminals who used Craigslist to lure their victims. Once they had isolated their target, they would threaten them with guns and steal their money. They also used the fake identities of Greg, Kyle, and Josh to lure unsuspecting victims. Using phone records, the police were able to track down one of the men to a house in Rhode Island. When they raided the property, they found several items that linked the men to the crimes, including Brisman's driver's license, a key to the hotel room where she was held captive, and DNA evidence from Waterman's ordeal. One of the men, a 24-year-old named Philip Markoff, was arrested and charged with murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery. His accomplice, a 23-year-old named Lewis Coleman, was also charged with murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery. During Markoff's trial, prosecutors argued that he was the mastermind behind the operation, while Coleman was simply a getaway driver. They also revealed that Markoff had a history of violence against women and had been stalking his victims online for months before approaching them on Craigslist. Defense attorneys tried to argue that there was not enough evidence to convict Markoff, but the jury saw through this and convicted him on all counts. He was sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole. Coleman was sentenced to 15 years in prison, but only served 5 before being released after serving his full sentence. He was immediately arrested by U.S. Marshals and extradited to Nevada, where he faced charges of his own for an unrelated crime. Today, Markoff's story is remembered as one of the most horrific examples of cybercrime in history. His brutal murders shocked the nation and raised awareness about the dangers of meeting strangers online. If you want to hear more stories like this, stay tuned.